So we are going to discuss about the concepts of following terms means ESL, EFL, TESOL, ESP and EAP. We are going to discuss not only these five terms. I will be also discussing the few related terms, the two famous exams, TOEFL and IELTS. We shall also discuss some other terms related to these five terms. So it will be very interesting topic and very informative topic for you. Okay. But in our syllabus, we have these five terms only, but I will be discussing many more. So first of all, let us begin with the basic concept of first language and second language. We very well know English is widely spoken language in the world. Almost all the country speak or use English language in one or the other way. We can call it lingua franca or a global language or an international language because all the country, though they have their own language, they prefer to communicate in English. So English is a common language between the dealing of two countries, communication between the two countries. This is the current scenario. And there are many words, many terms used with reference to English language teaching, and these terms, as a teacher of English, you must know this. Because you want to become a teacher of English, and if you want to go for abroad study, these are very important terms you must know. You must know what is mother tongue, what is first language, what is second language, what is foreign language. And out of these terms, these words we often come across TESOL, TEFL, TESL, EFL, ESL, ESP, EAP. So let us discuss all these terms one by one. But before discussing and going to these terms, we should be clear about the basic two terms of first language and second language. So what is our first language? First language is the language that is acquired from birth, and we have learned from listening to our parents, communicating with your parents and the friends or relatives and the society at large has communicated in that language with you. So it is actually mother tongue. So the synonym for first language is mother tongue, native language, native tongue. These are the other words used for first language. First language is less complex. Babies learn it quite naturally, effortlessly, because it is the first language, because it is the mother tongue. The other term that is used is L1, language 1. So that is L1 is also used for that. Now, what is second language? Now, when you have learned your first language, then you start learning many other languages. So they become your second language. You already know one language, and at a later stage of your life, you start learning new languages. You are a non-native person, means if you are learning English, You are not born in a country where English is spoken. So you are non-native. So it is also called non-native language, non-native tongue. And it has to be learned actively. It cannot be learned naturally, effortlessly. You have to make efforts. You have to study grammar, its rules. You have to be clear about many concepts about the language. Then you will be able to learn. The other term used for second language is L2. Most of the time, second languages are foreign languages for us. But sometimes, in case of Hindi and Sanskrit, they are not foreign languages for us. Actually, if we take the reference of India, English is no way foreign language for us. But we shall go into deep about this concept. That is third concept is foreign language. We shall go deep into it. So first, let us take an overview of the terms we are going to understand. Some terms are related to teaching and some terms are related to the language. For example, wherever you find the word T, you will see the word teaching. So T, E, F, L, T stands for teaching. E, everywhere, E stands for English. So tell me what T stands for?
Teaching.
Teaching. And E
Teaching.
stands for E.
English.
E stands for
English.
and L stands for.
Language. Yes.
So you are clear.
Language.
So it will be easy for you to remember the full forms because T means teaching, E means English. Now F comes. F stands for foreign, and L, as I already told you, L stands for language. So teaching English, you are teaching English, but you are teaching English as a foreign language. You can teach English as first language. You can teach English as second language. You can teach English as foreign language. There are different terms used for that. So, teaching English as a foreign language includes the term English as a foreign language. Clear? You just have to add the practice of teaching the language as a foreign language. So, EFL stands for English as a English as a
Foreign language.
foreign language. So now let us move to TESOL. TE stands for teaching English. L stands for languages. So what is SO? SO is speakers of other languages. Now teaching English to speakers of other languages. We shall come learn about all these terms individually. So we are discussing these terms in this order, and we shall also discuss in detail in this order. We shall begin our discussion with TEFL, then EFL, then TESL, then ESOL, English for speakers of other languages. Now, what is TESL? Teaching of English as a second language, SL. Now, ESL means English as a second language. Now, the two terms which are very special to be remembered is ESP. Now, English, you know English, E for English. But what is SP? SP means specific purpose, special aim, special objective, special utilization purpose. EAP means English for academic purpose, means it is related to academics. So let us discuss each and every term in detail. We shall also discuss, as I told you, about TOEFL and Ielts. TEFL, teaching of English as a foreign language. So you concentrate on the words teaching of English as a foreign language. Now see the main words, a foreign language. So you must be clear about what is a foreign language for you. You tell me, you are an Indian, you are living in Gujarat, your mother tongue is Gujarati. Which languages are foreign for you? You tell me.
English, Chinese, I think.
English, Chinese,
French.
French. Now, how did you decide that these languages are foreign for you? Because these languages are not related to your country. They are related to other country, isn't it? Yes,
Yes, sir.
right? So, foreign languages are the languages of foreign countries. Simple. Now, can we tell Telugu, Marathi, Punjabi, Hindi, Sanskrit a foreign language?
No, sir.
No. So, obviously, English is a foreign language. Now, teaching of English as a foreign language means teaching of English to students whose mother tongue is not English. Simply, my mother tongue is Gujarati, and if I am learning Spanish, if I am learning Italian, I am learning as a foreign language. So, first language is nothing but our mother tongue. Learner already knows one language. When you are going to learn foreign language, you already know one language. That is your mother tongue. And who will be the teachers? Teachers may be from India, maybe for your country. They may be native or there may be non-native speakers. So it doesn't mean that only native speakers can teach their language as a foreign language. Non-native speakers can also teach. As I am teaching English, so I am not a native English speaker. So foreign language can be taught by native speaker or non-native speakers. So teaching English in a non-native English speaking country means the country in which English is not their first language. For example, Korea, Korean is their mother tongue. If you teach English in Korea, it will be a foreign language. The methods and approaches we teach English as a second language, and if you teach English as a foreign language, will be different. Now, uh, Hindi, Sanskrit may be a second language for us because we are learning the language and we are also using the language. We are also using Hindi. So you see the difference between a foreign language. Foreign language may be learned for a hobby, personal choice, personal interest. You may not be using it. Clear? But second language, you might be using it. Actually, any other language that you learn comes under second language. So foreign language is also a second language. You are clear about this concept?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So a
Yes,
teacher,
sir.
so a teacher from United States can teach English in China. So English will be a foreign language for whom? Chinese people. So teaching of English as a foreign language exists in practically every country worldwide. You can say because there is demand for English language. So teaching of English as a foreign language exists in every country, right? It is in full demand. So TEFL is a really good profession. Uh, it is taught, English is taught in especially the countries where the first language is not English. For example, Brazil, China, France, Japan, Spain. So these are the countries. Well, English is not their first language, but English is also taught in Australia, Canada, United States, where English is first language, though it is taught as foreign language. Tell me how? How is it possible? Somebody is teaching English as foreign language in Australia, Canada, and UK. Tell me how and why. Can you give me a logic?
Or
Yes.
other in English, I think.
Yes. Because of the immigrants. The immigrants from India, from Pakistan, from Bangladesh, from any other Asian countries or any country of the world, the immigrants who permanently decide to stay or for work visa they come to the country, they need to learn the language. But it is a foreign language for them. So though you are in Australia, there will be a teacher who is teaching English as a foreign language. But who will be the students? Who will be the students? Students from different countries who have arrived, who have immigrated from their countries to the new countries. Clear about this?
So still little bit confused.
Now you understand about, suppose this is United States of America, right? What is their first
Yes.
language? What is their first language?
En-
English.
English.
Though their first language is English, there will be some classes where English is taught as foreign language. You understand this? And who will be the students in these classes? There may be one Indian, there may be one Pakistani, one Bangladeshi, one Sri Lankan, one Japanese, one Chinese, one Russian. The class will be
Yes.
a mixture of people. Is now you got the idea? Yes, exactly. So it is the, if you remember the English picture, the classroom, it is the scenario. It is the exactly the scenario of teaching English as a foreign language, right? So, teaching English as a foreign language, maybe in the classrooms, it may be taught by the native teacher or non-native teacher. The word is used, indigenous teachers. Now, who are indigenous teachers? Means the teacher from the local primary and secondary schools, the local country, maybe in Brazil, a Brazilian teacher can also teach English as a foreign language. Okay, so it is taught in schools. It is also taught in corporate training departments, KG, universities, government-sponsored programs, private freelance teaching is also done. It is also taught in summer camps and charity organizations, right? But we do not do all these activities in our country. So there are TEFL teachers. There are two types of TEFL teachers. One is a native English speaking teacher, means a teacher from UK, from Australia, from USA, right? You are clear about this, native English speaking teacher, right? So Australian teacher of English can teach to immigrants in Australia. A Canadian teacher of English can teach to English to Brazilian students in Brazil. So anyone can do the job of teaching English as foreign language in any country of the world, because there is a demand. There is such demand. So second type of EFL teacher, tell me. Second type of EFL teacher, non-native English speaking teacher. So I am a non-native English speaking teacher, but I may run a class in which I teach English as a foreign language. Clear about this? Second word, it is related to TEFL, that is English as a foreign language. So you understand the difference between English as a foreign language and English as a second language. You understand the difference between English or any other language. English as a foreign language and English as a second language. You carefully listen to me. Now, English as a second language refers to the teaching and learning English in a country where English is already an official language or one of the main language. United States of America, Canada, UK, Australia are the countries where English is already an official language and it is used in the country. In this sense, in this sense, English is also a second language in India. You get the idea? Because English is used in, it is an official language in India. It is an associate official language in India. It is a language of government administration, companies, business, everything. Isn't it? Clear about this? You are clear about this? Hello?
Sir.
English as a second language, clear about this?
Yes. Yes, sir.
But English is a foreign language. In countries like South Korea, Japan, Taiwan, China, Thailand, because English is not used in these countries. So English will be foreign language for them. Now you are clear? So English can be a foreign language and English can be a second language. Okay? So English is a second language for Indians, yes or no? But English is not a second language for China. Okay? For China, it is a foreign language because they do not deal. They in their day-to-day life they do not use English, but in our day-to-day life we use English in one or the other way. So it will be in the form of second language. It is not totally foreign for us. Is English totally foreign for us? No, right? So English as a foreign language means the people are totally means they are learning the language for hobby, for personal choice. It is not compulsory for them to learn it. It is not used in day-to-day life. They are just learning for fun, maybe. So English as a foreign language, this is how we can look at it. You know, English as a second language is also part of English as foreign language. Maybe sub part we can tell it. So it is taught to students in a foreign non-English speaking country. It is common to learn to speak more than one foreign languages. Yes, some students may learn German, French. You know, there are some classes that students go to learn. Even adults and senior citizens, they just go to learn German, French. You know this. But see, if you are learning French as foreign language, you are not going deep into it. You are just learning the its alphabets, just day-to-day sentences, common concepts, right? But
Yes.
if you are going to learn any foreign language as a second language, you are going to use it, right?
Yes, sir.
If you are learning, you are if you are going to learn French as a foreign language, you are not going to use French in Gujarat. But if you are going to learn English as a second language, you are actually going to use for official purpose, any purpose. So English is learned in such countries for more privileged class. Means the English speaking nations of the world, more privileged class, they prefer to learn English just for their fun, for their hobby. It is used to describe the study of English by non-native speakers in countries where English is not the dominant language, right? So we should not confuse English with English as a second language and English as a foreign language. We should not confuse the both concept. Okay, I have given you many examples. I am repeating the example that German, French, Italian, Spanish, in Indian context is learned by personal choice, personal interest. They are foreign languages for them. They do not belong to our country. They do not belong to India. They are not part of our community, part of our culture. Mind well, we just learn for fun to know their culture, to talk with other people, them with, right? So thus foreign means really foreign for us. Foreign means it's foreign to our social, cultural, educational, and administrative context. We do not use Chinese. Do we use Chinese in India? Anywhere in socio, cultural, educational, or administrative context? Do we use?
No, sir. No, sir.
So Chinese is a foreign language for us. But English in India cannot be called foreign language. Can we call it? Yes or no? English in India, can we call it a foreign language?
No, sir. No.
Eh, No, because English is part and parcel of our socio cultural, educational, and administrative context. It is part of this setup. It is already an official language of India, right? So English is not a foreign language in India, but we are talking about the global context. English is a foreign language for these countries: Germany, France, Italy, Japan, right? So foreign language for them. Okay. Now next term, TESOL, teaching of English to speakers of other language. Now after discussion of all this, can you tell me the meaning of this teaching English to speakers of other languages? Can you tell me? It's so simple.
Whose language is not English.
Simple. Speakers to other language. Now there are thousands of languages in the world, ex- right? Except English. There are thousands of languages. So if you teach English to those people who speak other than English, means if I teach English to a Korean, to an African, to a Mongolian, to a Japanese, to a Chinese, to a Finnish, to a Spanish people, to a German. So now you got the idea. It is same concept, but the words are different. Teaching English to speakers of other languages. Concentrate on the word other languages, right? So it is to distinguish English language teaching as a professional activity that requires specialized training, right? If you want to teach French people English, you need specialized training. If you want to teach English to German people, you need specialized training. So there is professional teaching going on in the world in the name of TESOL, teaching of English to speakers of other languages, right? So there is a course, there is professional courses for TESOL, there is a training methodology because you are teaching to a non-native English speakers, non-native people, right? Their language is different. Teachers help students to use English to communicate in their daily life in English speaking country. If you are an immigrant, this type of class we will find there. Yes, as you have seen in English, right? They teach the common day to day work, going for shopping, ordering foods in restaurant, interviewing a job, asking for something, making a small talk with co-workers. So there are day to day functions. So teaching of English to people whose first language is not English is called TESOL. Okay. So what is TESOL? Teaching English to the speakers whose first language is not English. It means whose
English.
mother tongue is not
English.
English. So it is called TESOL. TESOL is clearly related to TEFL and TESL, right? Teaching of English in countries where English is not widely used in daily life. For example, Russia, China, France, Brazil, you teach English as foreign language, right? But as far as India is concerned, you teach English as second
A
language.
second.
Yeah, clear. But in India, we use it as an official language. So, teaching practice in India is called TESL, and teaching practice in France is called TEFL. Clear about this? TEFL and TSL. You have to be just concentrate on what I say. You are clear about TEFL and TSL?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, yes, the TESL, you remove the T, it becomes ESOL, English for speakers of other languages. So you are clear about that? Should I skip it? Right? You remove T, English for speakers of
Yes.
other languages. Now comes TESL. That's what already I have discussed. Teaching of English as a
Second language. Second
second
language.
language. Yes. So teaching English in America to Chinese speaking people, it will be teaching English as second language because the Chinese people, they are actually living in America and they will be using English. They have to use English. So they are not learning English as a foreign language. They are learning it as a second language. They already know Chinese and they are learning English for their day-to-day use. So if you look at language teaching in this perspective, it is teaching English as a second language, right? The teacher is teaching the language as a second language. You can teach a second language only when the student have their own first language. They must have the first language, right? So you cannot teach English as a second language to English people. Yes or no? Hmm?
Yes, sir.
So
You
you are
cannot.
clear about this. So TESL, there is also professional degree, professional courses, TESL certificate. Now, if you have a TESL certificate, you can teach in these countries as a teacher of English, right? So teaching of English as a second language is a profession over there. Now, if you remove T from this, English as a second language, you are clear about this concept? English as a second language, right? Or second language is
Yes.
any language a person uses other than his mother tongue. So if I use Hindi, if I use Sanskrit, if I use Marathi, all these are second language for me. It is called L2, as I told you. If I am a Gujarati student, so Gujarati is my first language because I was born in Gujarat. So Gujarati is my first language. But if I speak Hindi, Marathi, or English, it will be a second language for me. And if you go to English speaking country and if you stay there for a long time, you need to learn the language. So it will be second language for you, right? If you want to communicate with their people and if you want to do any business or study over there, you must learn English. So in that case, English will be a second language for you. So as I told you, there are professional courses, professional certificate courses to be a teacher of English as second language. That is professionally it is going on, right? So English speaking countries uh, already have English, and for example, many other countries also accept English as medium of instruction, especially in India. As I told you, the same thing is discussed here, right? English as a foreign language, these countries do not use English as medium of instruction. But because India use English as a second language, you will find many schools there will be medium of instruction as English, isn't it?
Yes.
Though there are more than 6,000 different languages spoken over the world, English has been lingua franca for many countries. So, lingua franca is actually a second language for both the countries. If you think this is the French one, this is the Japanese one, and they both communicate in English, English is a second language for them. Clear? It is a lingua
Yes.
franca for them. It is a lingua
Franca.
franca for them. Clear? It is a lingua franca, right? A Japanese boy who goes to America with his family. This is the example of English as second language. But if he starts speaking Japanese over there, what will happen with him?
Nobody can understand.
Yes. So he has to go to school. He must learn English, and if he learns English for communication purpose, he is learning English as a second language. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And if you take an example of Indian girl who learns English in Indian schools and speaks English, but she doesn't use English in day-to-day life. She speaks English and use English in only in the school time and only in the school period only. And she never use English for in lifetime. It will be English as a foreign language. Okay, English as a foreign language. Now, if you observe the Gujarati medium syllabus of our schools, you will find English language and small letters, second language is written here over there. If you observe the textbooks of English language, have you observed? Right? So there are two words used. English medium syllabus have English as FL, first language, and in Gujarati medium schools, English language has English as SL, right? So there are words used. You should pay attention to those words. I request you to read the front page of our textbooks of Gujarati medium and English medium. Now, what is the next term? ESP. ESP means English for special purpose. Now, what is the meaning of special purpose? You tell me, you already know. What is special purpose? English for special purpose. See the
For
chart.
technique purpose.
Hmm? You know, you know there is a BCom degree of a BCom or a BBA. There is business English, right? So English for business, English for chemist. Now English for chemist is totally different for English for business, isn't it? Now, English for doctors and English for media, English for lawyers, English for engineers, English for educationists, isn't it? Everything is different, right? So, English for specific purpose means it is related to certain field, certain profession, certain topic. So, you will find this type of English around you. You learn English for your special work, right? If you are a lawyer, you learn English in that context. If you are a business people, you learn English in that context. If you are a pilot, if you are an engineer, if you are a travel agent, if you are a hotel staff, every field has different English, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So English for specific purpose means ESP is actually a part of English as foreign language, right? English as a second language or English as a foreign language, and this is the sub part of it is ESP. It is sub part of it. You are actually learning English as a foreign language. You are actually learning English as a second language, but you are also learning English for
Specific for our academic.
specific purpose. purpose. Yes, right? You are learning specific vocabulary, specific words, specific skills, specific sentences related to that field, that profession. So that's why it is called English for specific purpose. Next term is English for academic purpose. Now, do you know, you obviously you know the meaning of academic. What is the meaning of academic? Tell me. Yes. Actually, you must know what is the meaning of academic. Academic English. Very good, very good. It is related to study. Academics means it is related to, obviously, it is related to study. So, what is your purpose? Can anyone tell me? For education, right?
Yes, sir.
ESP stands for English for specific or purpose, and English for academic purpose is one of ESP, isn't it? Is one
Yes.
of type of ESP. Actually, EAP is one type of ESP, isn't it? Because you are learning English for academic purpose, right? So we find English medium institutes in our country, right? And you need to learn English to study, to go for higher education, especially in some of the part of our country. The parents are crazy about English. We learn English as a subject as well. So it is part of academics, right? And we also learn English literature. It is also part of it. So clear about this?
Yes, sir.
So you are clear about all these concepts?
Yes, sir.
So these, so the last two concepts are not part of our syllabus, but I just want to inform you, just out of curiosity. How many of you have heard the name of Ielts and TOEFL? IELTS
Yes.
and TOEFL. How many of you at least know something about it? How many of you know something about it? Tell me. I have not gone through it, but you tell me if you have gone through it. Has anybody gone
It's,
through it?
is
What
it?
is TO? Uh-huh. Yes, sir. And TOEFL, TOEFL, both are accepted, right?
I
So
don't know about.
yes, I'm explaining both the things. Though I have not gone through none of them, right? Any of them. IELTS, International English Language Testing System. It is available in two parts. IELTS Academic for the students who want to go in the foreign countries for study purpose. So there is IELTS Academic, and then IELTS General Training for those who wish to work overseas, right? They need to test their skills, the day to day skills, right? So academic IELTS is different, and general training IELTS is different. The acceptable score varies from school to school, from faculty to faculty, from country to country, but the minimum score is 6.3, right? Students aim to pass not less than 6.3. IELTS test is the most popular option if you plan to move to Australia, New Zealand, Canada, or UK. Can you please repeat the full form of the word IELTS? International National English Language Testing System, right? Second option for you is TOEFL, TOEFL, Test of English as a Foreign Language. Now, you obviously it is a foreign language for you, so you need to give the test because you are going to a foreign country. For it is developed by American company called ETS, right? The test measures English proficiency in reading, writing, speaking, and listening. These are the four basic skills of any language. Most universities around the world required TOEFL scores for an international students to be admitted. Now, what is the format of the exam? Reading, listening, speaking, and writing. Their duration of the exam is given 54 to 72 minutes for reading, 41 to 57 minutes of listening, 17 minutes of speaking, 50 minutes of writing. How many questions are for reading? 30 to 40 questions. You have to read 3 to 4 passages and answer the questions. In listening, there are 28 to 39 questions. You have to listen to audio clips and answer the questions. There will be 4 tasks, and you have to express your opinion on the task and the topic they are given to you, that is speaking. In writing, there are 2 tasks. You will be asked to write a structured and clear essay on a given topic. So, as you have seen, there is IELTS academic and general training. In TOEFL, there are 2 options to take the test. It is a paper-based test or internet-based testing. You know the word IBT, internet-based test. Okay. So PBT is a paper-based test and CBT is computer-based test. So they take this test in both the medium. American universities traditionally favor the TOEFL test over the IELTS test. So if you want to go in the American universities, you should focus on which test?
Uh, TOEFL.
TOEFL, right? If you want to go to US. But most of the schools in UK, Canada, New Zealand, and Australia also accept it, right? So the minimum score over in the IELTS was 6.3, but here the average score should be minimum score should be 75. Okay, the maximum score you can get here is 120, right? So this is the scoring system. IELTS have the band scores 0 to 9 band, clear. And TOEFL has the standard scale scoring system from 1 to 120 mark. TOEFL exam in general is taken both by humans and by automatic system, scoring system, right? Maximum score, as I told you, is 120. And IELTS exam is generally graded, means checked by humans, right? Separate score for each item, and it has band scores. IELTS has band 0 to 9, right? For both the exams, you will have to wait for at least 10 days to get your results. With the TOEFL score, you get more precise understanding of your English proficiency because it scores from 1 to 20, right? So there are plenty of synonyms for the same thought and same expression. You can use many words, right? But we use same word for all the type of expressions, right? Asking,
Sir.
inquiring, the different things, right?
Yes, sir.
So it is really interesting, and lots of material is available online. This is the difference. IELTS and TOEFL. It is given 2 hours and 45 minutes for IELTS and 4 hours of test for TOEFL. So TOEFL is a quite lengthy test. IELTS uses British English, British accent, and TOEFL uses American English, right? Because it is basically developed by an American company. So TOEFL is related to American English, right? All the international schools, employers, and graduate schools accept it. All the US international graduate schools employers accept it. As I told you, Australia, Canadian countries, universities, sorry, New Zealand, British, American, all accept this, right? And there are 48, more than 48 test dates per year. Means more than 48 times they take test. More than 50 times they take TOEFL, right? Result are valid in both the cases 2 years. Validity of the result is 2 years. This is the band 0 to 4 band is basic, 0 to 31 is equivalent to 32 to 34. What is the highest mark? 180, 18 to 120. And highest band you will get in IELTS is, what is the highest band you will get? And if you want to enter, what is the basic band you should require? 6.3 or 6.5 and 79 to 93 mark. Right, this is what difference is given in the same discussion, so I am not repeating it. So you should be clear about all the concepts. You can search on net about these concepts. As a teacher of English, you should be familiar with all these concepts. So this is a nice topic, very interesting. Thank you. I am telling you thank you in different languages. Okay. धन्यवाद.